let's look at, we looked at some escapes that I think are, they're not great. They're not, if you're thinking to yourself, these escapes are kind of like silly, yeah, they kind of are, right? But we need to know how to deal with them when people try them, okay? Now let's look at what I think is a good escape, okay? It's a good way to get out, and then we're gonna start to look at how to solve this problem. I have good news and bad news about this problem. The good news is that from a defensive perspective, if you get good at this, it's very tricky to get caught here. The bad news is if they get good at this, it's very tricky to catch them here. So it's like, yeah, catching the inside heel hook in this position takes a lot of skill. So what doesn't take a lot of skill is controlling someone here. That's easy. We're gonna do a positional round here in a little bit where, guys, this is so easy to control people. In my opinion, this is the single most controlling position in all of jiu-jitsu. I'd even say it's more controlling than like, the only position that you could argue with this, I think, is like mount with double underhooks, right? That and this, super easy to control somebody, okay? But actually getting to submission here, it takes a lot. I do it all the time. It's very achievable, but it takes a lot of skill, okay? It's a lot harder than it looks if you're dealing with someone who's defensively good, okay? Controlling them, that's one thing, but actually submitting them, that's another thing entirely, okay? So why is that the case? Well, you're gonna put me in the position now? So just come here, yep, good. Okay. The reason is because I have good ways to stay safe with both my legs and ultimately get out of the position, okay? So let's talk about each of my legs one at a time. So first, the primary leg. So I'll put your hands behind your back so you can see. And I will put this knee down. So my primary leg here, okay? The second you get put into this position, you should be doing one thing, and there's another thing you can do, but this is the main thing you should do. Initially, this is the only thing I want you guys to do, okay? I can escape by turning this way. Once we get very good, we can also escape by turning this way, but for now, let's just focus on turning this way, okay? I talked earlier about like hip mobility as being like really key in leg locking, okay? Even if he binds up both legs, I still have enough hip mobility that I can turn my primary leg. Okay, do you guys see that? Right, I still can wiggle my hip around a little bit, okay? What I'm gonna do is I point my toes, that takes my heel and it brings it into my ankle, so it's like a smaller target for him to grab, and then I point the back of my knee at his hips. Okay, so I move just move my hips enough that I can do that, okay? Now, it's really hard for him to get to the inside heel hook, okay? There are ways he can do it, like of course, right? They involve like slowing down the hips, they involve controlling the direction of the foot, etc. But it's gonna be tough, okay? I want you guys to think of this as being similar to somebody takes your back, what's the first thing you do? You tuck your chin, okay? If you're showing me a really good back escape that involves having your chin up and getting choked, even if it's gonna get you out, so imagine if someone's like, this back escape, it gets you out, back escape, it gets you out 95% of the time. If they don't go to choke you, they're gonna go to choke you, right? It's not really gonna work that often. So what you gotta do is, this is your baseline. This is gotta be the first thing you do, even when they have both legs, okay? I see a lot of people, they get caught in this position, they know, they go, okay, I have to hide my heel by turning this way. But they wait until the guy goes for the heel hook. That's like if someone takes you back and you wait to tuck your chin when they go to choke you. Why wasn't your chin down already? You should have had your chin down already, right? So the second you get here, hide your heel. Okay, and do you guys understand what I mean when I say that now, right? The two things that need to happen when you hide your heel. You point your toes and you point the back of your knee at his hips. So just take a look at your knee. Your knee has basically 4 sides. You got the front, the back, and then the left and the right side. Okay, you don't want his hips facing the front. The front, that would be really bad. That's a knee bar. Okay, and the sides, he can heel hook you. But if he faces the back, he doesn't have either. He can still ankle lock you, which is that's a different problem. Okay, but the main thing we're thinking about is the heel hook. So point the back of your knee at his hips and point your toes. Okay. You'll notice that I'm grabbing the leg. This is something I like to do. I like to grab the leg and stick my leg in deeper to like move my hip to get that angle of my knee, okay? Now, what do we do with the secondary leg? So he's gonna have a grip on it now. Okay, so what I do with the secondary leg is gonna be, first I extend it and I point my toes in the complete opposite direction of what my primary leg is doing. Because on my left leg, my secondary leg, his target is probably gonna be like, don't do this, but it's probably gonna be like an ankle lock, okay? Because that's sort of the submission that's right there. So I'm gonna defend that. Now, I'm gonna start looking to hand fight, okay? Because I gotta get this leg out. I'm not gonna be able to escape until I get this leg out. Okay, so, and I'm not gonna give you a specific way to hand fight here because I can't predict. There's a bunch of different things you could do. But generally speaking, try to get this arm out of the way and then get to this arm. Now when you're here, there is a specific thing I like to do. Okay, I'll start at the elbow and the wrist. Pull both. Then my left hand comes here and I have two on the wrist. Yeah, so I'm pulling here like this. Now I take my left foot, I put it underneath my right foot. Okay? Now, the reason that I've done this is that I can now take my left foot underneath my knee and take it out much more easily. Okay? If I go here to pull my leg out, like, get a little looser. It's okay. If I go to pull my leg out here, you guys might not know this submission yet, but this is called an Aoki lock. You run a big risk of getting caught in an Aoki lock. You can still, like, guys, you still can just pull your foot out like that. Especially if you're like really sweaty, that can work. But if you know someone's good at Aoki lock, so you're trying to be very safe, that's a danger. Okay, so the very conservative way to get out is like this. You get here, you pull here, and then we go here. He can't heel hook this leg because my heel is being hidden, right? And he can't ankle lock or do anything to this leg because it's under my primary leg, right? Now, I just pull this here, and then we take it out. Okay, so this is a very, very conservative, safe way to escape this position, okay? So, again, we're here. We gotta get, and I'm hiding this heel the whole time. I'm never not doing that. Because I can't predict if at any point he might let go of this leg and go back for the heel hook. So I better be ready to turn, okay? So I'm gonna fight my way through his hands, and I get to here. Okay? You might just, this in and of itself might be enough. Just the elbow grip and the wrist grip. That might be enough, right? But sometimes the guy's really strong. Be tight here. Sometimes they're really strong. This is not enough. I find I can pull more here and make more space to get this. Okay, does that make sense, guys? Yeah. Now, okay, I'll even maybe let go here of the hands, right? And then, try to keep this tight. I'll slide this foot here, and then maybe you can push down here. It's different things, depends on what he does. Now here, when I pull this foot out, it's gonna be very hard for him to catch me with a Aoki lock or with a heel hook, okay? Let's do this, and then we'll look at how to get out of this situation, like when we're here. Once you're here, this is good news for you. You're very close to escaping because you accomplished the hardest thing, which is getting your secondary leg free. That's the hardest thing. Once this is free, your hips can move very well. Okay, from here, we just gotta make sure he doesn't regain this, because if he does, then you just went backwards. And then freeing this leg, which can be easier than you think. Okay, make sense, guys?
Yes.
Any questions before we get started? All right, so we're gonna try 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we freed the secondary leg. How are we gonna get out of our primary leg? How are we gonna free our primary leg, right? First thing you gotta do is let's, not let him get the secondary leg back, okay? So we pull the secondary leg as far in this direction as I can, and I'm gonna keep this hand here as a frame or like a blocker. So when he goes to grab it,
The leg.
Yeah, I can block it, right? He might grab this. He might grab that, which is actually not a bad idea, but then that's a different problem. I gotta free that and get it out, right? If he goes for this, then I'm gonna block it and not let him get to it, okay? I'm still hiding my heel, and now to get out of this position, I gotta escape his feet, okay? Because what he can do with his feet is he can hold on to me. Yeah, he can hook me here, okay? So what I do is I go, my goal is to grip the side of the ankle. Okay, that's my goal. That's where I want to get. Okay, we don't want to get here. But if he's flaring the knee out, I don't have the angle to get that. So I may have to start at the knee, okay? But ultimately, so let's say he's flaring the knee, I go to the knee, no, keep it here. I go here, and now I bring my hips back. Don't try to push his knee down, okay? Instead, push yourself against his knee. Then go to the side of his ankle. Make sense? Yeah? Okay. The reason is because if I go to the knee and so hook at my hamstring. So if I go to the knee, he hooks at my hamstring, I go to escape, I don't get out. He's just gonna hold on to me. In fact, there's a lot of really good attacks he can do once he hooks here. Okay, but if I use this to get space now, I can grip the ankle when you try to hold on to me. Very easy to get my leg out. So the way I got my leg out there, guys, it's not just pushing and then moving your leg. That can work if you're super flexible, okay? But if you're not, and even if you are super flexible, it's easier to do it this way. Have your left hand on the floor, hips up, and then we get our leg out, okay? Hopefully better than that. Here, we get our leg out. Now here you've got two options, okay? I can either run as fast as I can away from him, okay? Or what I would prefer is you sit down, get both your hands on his legs, and then start using this to push, and now we can like attack him, okay? So again, we're here. The advantage of just running away is that it's probably less likely that he's gonna leg lock you. But he could take your back, or he could like take you down. He could follow you, and there could be a scramble, and your back is turned, so he's going to be the one who's probably going to be able to put you down in that situation. Okay, so maybe not going to get leg locked, but there's other bad things that can happen. Okay. Instead, what I like to do, usually, not always, it depends. I like to get here, get my hands here, then I use this leg to push. Now we can go here, then I could get him, and now he could do the drill. He can escape, okay? So you can like make a drill out of this, basically. Make sense, guys? Yeah, all right, let's give this a try. Then we're gonna come back and we're gonna look very briefly at offense. We don't have enough time to go over everything I wanted to tonight, but we'll do the rest of that another day, okay? All right, 1, 2, 3.